Azumanga Daioh is one of the most absurd and bizarre mangas ever made, but that has not stopped it from being one of the most beloved manga series, and that popularity has made it so that Azumanga Daioh has expanded to other mediums, among them video games. And in this video, I'll go over some of these games and how they adapted the absurdity of the show into a different medium. And what a better way to start this video than with
Mahjong.
Mahjong is a traditional Chinese game that is quite popular in Asian countries like Japan and South Korea. If you have played any Yakuza game, you have probably heard about Mahjong, and you probably don't know how to play it.
Okay, I lost, but I don't think it was that bad, right? Oh.
At first glance, Mahjong seems like a simple matching game, but the game has a lot of special conditions that make it rather confusing for newer players. In an effort to make Mahjong simpler to understand, the Japanese developer Ganbarion created Azumanga Daioh, released for the PlayStation 1 in 2002. This late PS1 game was published by Bandai. You see, Donyara is actually a Bandai's trademark of the game Ponja, which is a simplified version of Mahjong aimed at kids. Bandai used this trademark to release licensed Ponja games using IPs like Doraemon, One Piece, Spy X Family, and many other popular manga series. But what concerns us is the collaboration with Azumanga Daioh. Azumanga Daioh is a Mahjong game that removes many of the special conditions that can be found in traditional Japanese Mahjong. The entire gameplay loop revolves around Donyara, so let me dive into how to play Donyara. Similar to Mahjong, the goal of Donyara is to build a hand of matching tilesets. In this case, a hand of 3 matching tilesets. In Azumanga Donyara, the tiles use characters from the show, with one character having multiple facial expressions. To create a matching tileset, you must have 3 of the same character and they can have different facial expressions. Every turn, you will get 1 extra tile added to your hand, and you have to discard 1 tile from your hand to end your turn. You do this for 10 turns, and whoever gets 3 matching tilesets can call Donyara, which means that you win the round. If none of the players get 3 matching tilesets after 10 turns, then it's declared a draw. That's basically all you need to know to start playing Donyara. It's a really simple gameplay loop, and the fact that most special conditions have been removed makes the experience less confusing for newer players. The only special condition that has been preserved in Donyara is Richie, which happens when a player is missing only 1 tile to complete 3 matching tilesets. When Richie is called, that player must automatically discard any tile that does not complete the remaining tileset. Only while Richie is active, if your opponent discards the tile that you are missing, you can call Pawn to put that tile in your hand. In Azumanga Donyara, when you call Richie, the game basically plays for you, and you just stare at the screen praying that you get that last tile that you need. Azumanga Donyara has a few gimmicks to make the game more interesting. Similar to Mahjong, you start the game with a point counter. Then you play multiple rounds, and depending on the outcome of the round, you might get or lose some of your points. The winner of the game is whoever gets the higher score by the end of the last round. Donyara has a unique gimmick where certain combinations of tilesets add additional points to your score if you call Donyara. These are called Yaku. For example, if your winning hand has a tileset for Yukari and Kurosawa, you will get the Teacher Yaku, which grants you 40 additional points. I like the Yaku system because it incentivizes experimentation with different combinations of tilesets and also adds a level of strategy to the game as it makes you hold longer to certain tiles in order to complete a Yaku combo and get a higher score. However, holding a tile for longer is risky because the opponent can call Donyara before you get a Yaku. You can say that this is a high risk, high reward mechanic. There is one more gimmick in this game, and that is partner skills. At the beginning of each game, you get to choose a character to play as, but you also get to choose a partner. Each partner has a special ability that can be activated at the start of the round by using some of your points. Some abilities allow you to draw specific tiles like Sakaki that always draws Shiyo's father in your first turn. Other abilities alter the outcome of the round like Yukari that nullifies the result of a round if an opponent wins. However, this ability can only be used once per game. Despite how powerful some of these abilities can be, you have to be careful when using them, as they can have certain limitations or their cost is too high, adding another element of strategy. Azumanga Daioh is a game that is easy to pick up but hard to master. By removing a lot of the special conditions and simplifying the tile design from traditional Japanese Mahjong, the basics of Donjara become second nature after a few couple of rounds. But as you keep playing the game, you will notice that there's a lot of room for experimentation. This is the kind of game where every turn you have to make small decisions that will be impactful in the long term. And there is also an aspect of resource management, as you have to be careful how you spend your points and decide when it's necessary to take risk and go for Yaku combinations or use a partner ability. However, be mindful that this is also the kind of game where there's a lot of luck involved. No matter how good your strategy is and how good you are at managing your points, sometimes luck is not going to be on your side. Luck is part of the nature of the game. It's an aspect of the game that is out of the player's control, and while it might feel cheap at times, it's an important part of the game that makes each round feel different. And while the gameplay is really solid, I would also like to talk about the presentation. One of the coolest aspects of this game is how every character has a 3D model that you can see walking around during each round. Despite being a PS1 game, the low poly style still looks really good. The bodies are made from simple shapes, but the texture coloring looks really nice and the facial expressions and animations are lively and really funny. I love these character models. There's so many small details, like whenever you discard a tile, your character moves towards the discarded tile and pushes it, or whenever you call Richie, an animation plays out. The attention to detail is amazing, and even though some animations can be quite long and slow, they're still really cool and add a lot of charm to the game. Now, this game was only released in Japan. It never received an official English localization. I would say that you don't really need to understand Japanese to play the game. However, this game offers a story mode with a lot of dialogue. And if you want to know what happens in the story mode, then you need to know how to read Japanese or use a translator, which might be a deal breaker for some people. It's a shame because I think that this is actually a really solid and fun game. However, there is an alternative. In February 2025, the game developer Birdup released the fan game Azumanga Daioh DX. This is a browser game that replicates the gameplay of the PS1 game while also adding new mechanics. For instance, in contrast to the PS1 game, there are no partner abilities, and instead of playing against one opponent, now you're playing against 3 opponents. There is also a new mechanic called Steal, which allows you to take a tile that was discarded by the opponent that played before you, as long as you have 2 of that same tile set that the opponent discarded. Everything else remains the same as the PS1 game. The Yaku system is still here, but now there are new combos that you can make. This is an excellent alternative to the PS1 game, especially for those that do not speak Japanese, as everything is in English. And there are some quality of life features like an in-game tutorial that goes over everything that you need to know about the game, and the fact that you can play on your browser is also really cool because that means that this game is playable on pretty much any device. You can even play on your phone. Birdup did an amazing job making Azumanga Daioh more accessible while also remaining faithful to the original game. Even Birdup logo is an homage to the Bandai logo, which is a detail that I found really cute. And this is not the only Azumanga game that Birdup has developed. There is also Azumanga Daioh Magical Pub, which is based on the arcade game Azumanga Daioh Puzzle Bubble. However, Azumanga Magical Pub has a different gameplay style which is similar to the Magical Drop games. Beardub is an amazing developer, so check their games out.
Racing.
Mario Kart is the king of racing games. On almost every Nintendo console, a Mario Kart game is at the top of the sales charts. Mario Kart 8 is not only the second best-selling Nintendo game of all time, it's also the 5th best-selling game of all time. The legacy that Mario Kart has left behind is huge, spawning a new subgenre of racing games, the Mario Kart clones. The type of racing game that doesn't focus on realistic driving, instead opting for a style that is more accessible towards those that are not familiar with gaming, while also having some depth for those that want to master their skills. However, the way Mario Kart games are designed is by adding mechanics to lower the skill gap between players. So these games have gimmicks like items that create a more chaotic and quote-unquote fair playground for all players. It's a really simple formula. Everyone knows and understands what Mario Kart is, and a lot of franchises have tried to replicate the success of Mario Kart. If there is a famous franchise, especially aimed at kids, there's a high likelihood that the franchise has a Mario Kart clone. There have been a lot of Mario Kart clones over the years, and none of them have managed to dethrone the king. They haven't even come close to that, at least based on sale numbers. There are clearly some high quality titles out there, some might even argue that these games are better than Mario Kart, but that's not really the point of discussion here. Instead, I would like to focus on a Mario Kart clone based on Azumanga Daioh. This is Azumanga Daioh Battle Hecho. Azumanga is a Japanese doujin game developed by Little Space Software, which also developed another doujin game called Prime 2, which seems like an action RPG mixed with platform fighter. Azumanga was released in 2003 exclusively for PC, even receiving a physical release despite the fact that it's a doujin soft. The game is a standard Mario Kart clone, a more casual-oriented racing game with power-ups that serves as a way to give every player an equal chance of reaching the first place. However, Azumanga stands out for its beautiful visuals, having a 3D perspective but being composed mostly of 2D sprites. And the sprite work in this game was really well done, having a style similar to the original manga but having its own retro video game-ish look to it. My favorite part about the art style is how it uses elements from the series to create bizarre imagery, like using Chiyo's feathers for obstacles and background elements. Every track was originally designed for this game, but they captured the essence of Azumanga Daioh so well that it feels like it was taken directly from the manga. From the haunted school track that seems as if the whole school was flooded and you were racing in the little land that remains intact, to the Sky Temple track that seems to be taken out of a lucid dream. Every track stands out for its beautiful and strange visuals. When it comes to the feeling of the game, well, it gets the job done. It's a weird case where the game does not control terribly, but it definitely takes a while to get used to it. The best way I can describe the feeling of the game is slippery. Taking corners in this game can be quite tricky. It is almost inedible to hit walls or fall off the track during tight corners. This is an issue because your only way of accommodating your character is by drifting, which is quite awkward to use. But the hop of the drift can be used to skip certain parts of the track, which is a really cool mechanic. Don't get me wrong, the game does not control badly, but it's not as easy to pick up. Now, to be fair, this game is relatively small compared to other racing games, and for what it is, it's still a lot of fun, especially because this game still has the chaotic nature of Mario Kart with the amount of items that are thrown at you. And there are a few cool mechanics like character-specific items, like Osaka having eggplants that can be thrown as a projectile. Additionally, there is also couch multiplayer to play with friends, and the best mode in every racing game, time trial, where you race against yourself with no gimmicks, just your driving skills, as you learn the layout of the track and find the best route to achieve a lower time. For a small fan-made game, Azu Race is an incredible experience that any Azumanga fan should definitely check out. And before I end this section, one fun fact about this game is that there are players that have done speedruns for it, both in the main single player mode and in the time trials, and their gameplay showcase how deep the game mechanics are. So shoutouts to the Azu Race speedrun community, they are incredible players. I saved the best game for last, and this is one that I'm excited to talk about because out of all the games I have talked about in this video, this is the most ambitious one. Tomo the Wildcat by Lucas ATBK. This creator is an important figure in the Azumanga community, being the project main developer and model artist for the Azumanga Daioh 64 mod for Mario 64. And Tomo the Wildcat is their next big breakthrough in the Azumanga fan-made community. Tomo the Wildcat is a 2D platformer inspired by Sonic the Hedgehog. The DNA of the Sonic series can be felt throughout the entirety of Tomo the Wildcat, but it doesn't feel just like a reskin of Sonic with Azumanga characters. The game uses the Sonic inspiration as a base, with the level design expanding upon those ideas, creating an experience that feels good to play. This game is all about building momentum and speeding your way through levels. The character feels like Sonic in most of the 2D games, however this game also adds the homing attack from the 3D games. And the addition of the homing attacks feels so good because there are sections where multiple enemies or obstacles are stacked together so you can chain multiple homing attacks to go through them without stopping your momentum. But the best part about this game is without a doubt the level design. Every level is filled with so many ideas and it cycles through them rapidly, introducing new mechanics constantly without making them feel like they overstay their welcome. Just in the first level, you have not one but two boss battles that have different attack patterns and an auto runner section. And as you keep progressing through the game, more and more ideas are thrown at you, and the variety is impressive. And this game goes above and beyond with its presentation. At the end of each level, there are 3D cutscenes showing the story of the game, and I love these cutscenes. As mentioned in the Azumanga Daioh section, I'm a huge fan of the low poly model style, and Tomo the Wildcat uses the low poly aesthetic greatly, with clean and cute models, great texture work that gives the character more facial expressions, and really cool animations. And here's the most surprising thing. All of this is just a demo. At the time I'm recording this video, the full game has not come out yet. It's coming out on July 25, 2025, and the full release adds a lot of new things, multiple playable characters with unique abilities, more levels, more cutscenes, and support for custom characters. This game is really ambitious, and I will definitely play it again once the full release comes out. So let me just say this, if you're an Azumanga Daioh fan, definitely check this game out. If you are a Sonic fan, definitely check this game out. And if you're a 2D platformer fan, definitely check this game out. This game deserves more attention because Tomo the Wildcat is a love letter to both Sonic and Azumanga Daioh. This is a passion project from fans to fans, and as long as there are developers that feel so passionate about Azumanga Daioh, we will keep getting amazing projects like this. Thanks for making it this far into the video. I would like to give a shout out to Emmy Sputnik, who I commissioned for the thumbnail of this video. She's an amazing artist and you can see her incredible work on her Tumblr. I'll leave her tag on the stream, but you can also find her page down in the description. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, and I would like to know your opinion about Azumanga Daioh or any of the games that I talk about in this video, or any Azumanga game that you think deserves more attention. Write a comment down below about it. And if you'd like to see more content like this, consider subscribing. That helps the channel grow and it keeps me motivated to make more videos in the future. Once again, thanks for watching the video and until next time.